Good evening YouTube, I'm back again with another video game soundtrack review. Second one this time. First of all, I want to take care of a couple things. Changes to the format. A user has suggested that I simply upload the music into the video. It would count as fair use considering this is commentary. So as opposed to having a video follow along, I will simply edit it into the video at appropriate volume. Of course, you can do it the old-fashioned way if you'd like. Secondly, regarding review score, I'm going to save that for the end. I mean, that's how all reviews work. Anyways, this particular soundtrack I'm really excited about. I haven't listened to this one for at least 4 years now. I mean, considering he's one of my favorite characters in Smash Bros. I've played all of his games. You'd think I'd be listening to that soundtrack a lot more. Anyways, this game was published by Nintendo, actually developed by Sega, which is really rare for Sega to be handling one of Nintendo's IPs. And if you do know the GameCube era, as well as I'm guessing some of my users do, the game in question is F-Zero GX. Now, I know a lot of people prefer F-Zero X's soundtrack to GX's, but I find there's a lot more diversity to GX's soundtrack, not simply by the number of tracks in the soundtrack, but also you get more genres. Of course, main genres with the F-Zero GX soundtrack are hard rock and techno. X favored more the hard rock metal soundtrack, but with GX, you get hard rock, techno, you get dubstep, metal, believe it or not, you get a little bit of country in there. I don't know. A bit of R&B, punk, even a little bit of emo, but we'll get into that a little later. Anyways, the big things that I like about this soundtrack, a lot of the tracks would not be as memorable without the songs. It has hands down some of the best racing music, where 1,000 miles an hour is considered cruising speed. One track I'd particularly like to highlight from one of the racing tracks is "Feel Our Pain" from Firefield. Now, this particular track, it's the one that I first fell in love with this game. I mean, it's not one of the first ones that you hear. You do have to go a little while in order to get to the cut that involves this, but the setting that you're in, combined with a hard rock soundtrack with the hard rock is more so in the background, followed by a techno in front. However, you can really follow along with the guitar work in the back. If you keep listening to this, it does come down to a slower crawl at one point, and let it pick back up again and lead into a rather nice guitar solo. I think this track is one of the best examples of fusion of rock and techno. You don't hear it very often anywhere else, but F-Zero does it really well. One of the other big things I like about this soundtrack, in the character profile mode, you get profiles for every single racer in the game that you've unlocked. And that's a lot of racers. Best of all, every one of these racers has an individual theme. An individual theme that has enough character where you can identify the person just based on the music. A couple of the more memorable ones, Captain Falcon's, Dr. Stewart's, Samurai Goro, I really like his. It suits him perfectly. Biorex and Billy, if you're into the metal and death metal genres. Blood Falcon, I consider that a little bit emo. But you know what? It is still a good song. And you get into things like QQQ. Now, I just want to play this one quickly. It's a little bit strange, but it's quirky. I mean, you listen to this for a little bit, and it doesn't seem to suit their tone for the rest of the game. There are a little bit of vocals, but they're a little hard. They're impossible to actually make out. I think it's kind of a cute song. But the main thing to keep in mind with F-Zero is you can't take its tracks too seriously. Again, this is a game where 1,000 miles an hour is cruising speed, which should be impossible for human reflexes to actually manage to drive on a racing course with. But you got people here who do it for a living, all while being attacked by other racers. Some of the themes are absolutely cheesy, but to great effect. If you want an example of cheesy, listen to Captain Falcon's theme. I mean, you can't get much cheesier than that. But the song is just... It's so memorable. It sticks in your mind. You know it's Captain Falcon when you hear that. I'm going to quickly play, let's see, which character? I'm going to go with Samurai Goro. This one's a nice short one, but it really does suit his character. So you can tell right away it has a very distinct Japanese flavor underneath the song. Aside from the slashing sword sound, you can hear the instruments underneath You can hear the instruments underneath the beat. And it only picks up from there. It's a short theme, as most of the character themes are, barring Captain Falcon's, but it's actually really solid. And besides, short tracks make for repeated listens, makes it much easier. My only complaint with the soundtrack is there's not really a good mix for Mute City. There's only 2 tracks for Mute City, and one of them is, well, the main one you find is only half Mute City. It seems to be an arrangement. And the other one, just one thing that irks me about it so much. And I'll play it right now. I mean, it comes off to a great start, but listen. I can't stand the drummer's cymbals. It comes off in such a strange pattern. The rest of the song is fantastic, except for that one part. It just spoils the song for me. Call me picky, but it doesn't sit well. And the other problem I have is the default Big Blue theme is not actually Big Blue. No, it's an entirely new track put on the Big Blue levels. It's a good title in its own right, but if you want to get the good Big Blue theme, you gotta actually pay quite a few credits in game for it. But I gotta tell you, hands down, it is one of my favorite tracks on this. Let's have a listen. Now, I should mention that I'm I'm a big metal fan. I can appreciate some really good guitar work. I strongly favor this one because of its emphasis on guitar work. But its placement in a level where there's so many violent twists, turns, jumps, it really gets your heart racing. And that's what F-Zero is all about. This song embodies what F-Zero is all about. It's a shame you have to wait until so late in the game to unlock it, but it's a great reward and a good finish off to an otherwise stellar soundtrack. And hey, the default Big Blue theme is actually not too bad. I suggest skipping the arranged version of Big Blue. If this one's all about metal and rock guitar solos, the other one, it's techno. So much. It sounds entirely synthetic. I just can't appreciate that. Have a listen if you want. You might share the same opinion as me coming off of this. If you don't, no big deal. Again, I review mostly based on my opinion. Some tracks are critically acclaimed. Anyways, if I did have to rate this soundtrack, considering the huge number of tracks, the diversity between all of them, and how well they fit the mood of the characters and the tracks that they're on, I would give it perfect. However, Mute City. It's a classic level, it deserves a great song, and I know I'm just being picky about that one, but it's a little uncomfortable. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I mean, this track is fantastic to listen to, even if you're not playing the game. Download it wherever you can find it. I'm not going to provide the link. Give it a listen, even out of the context of the game. I think you'll enjoy it. And if you get the chance, leave some suggestions in the bottom. I'm probably going to do just one more review on my own to get the pattern down, to get my speech skills comfortable, and then I'm going to start doing some requests. And maybe a couple special features, you know, like how a particular track has evolved throughout years and different iterations of a game. So if you happen to like my review, just click the subscribe button, give me a couple likes. I'm going to try and have the next review posted hopefully within 4 or 5 days. But if you want a little preview the night before, I'll usually post the soundtrack on my channel. Thanks for watching.